Today we are going to make some dry erase boards, which we can put on a calendar or a to-do list, whatever you guys decide that you need more. I'm finding these days that I need to get more organized than ever, and with you guys home trying to keep track of all of your schoolwork and everything, it might help you too. So what we need to complete today's project are scissors, ruler, pencil and Sharpie marker, Scotch tape, a roll of contact paper, which is like a drawer liner. You can find it in the home goods area of Walmart if you choose to go there, or at Lowe's. It's just a clear, transparent, sticky vinyl type substance, which will give us the dry erase capacity for our dry erase boards today. And you will also need a piece of lightweight recycled cardboard. Here I'm using part of a cereal box for today's project. To begin with, we need 7 columns running down for 7 days of the week if we're going to do a planner. We also need 5 columns going down our paper because there are 30 days, sometimes 31 days in the month. So what you're going to do is to take your scrapbooking paper, your fancy paper, whatever you have. Plain paper is fine as well. And you're going to measure the whole length, width, and length of your scrapbooking paper to figure out how big it is. Then we're going to do a little bit of math. I have a 12 by 12 piece, so I need to take 12 inches, have 7 divided into 12 to figure out how big my boxes across need to be. And then I need to take 12 and divide it by 5 to figure out how big my boxes down are going to be, so that we're fairly even on our box grid making today. So last time I was with you doing a paper craft, I asked you to draw on the back of your paper. Today I'm going to ask you to draw on the front, making light pencil marks at each measurement. And we will connect these dots with our Sharpie marker to give us a grid. And you can use any sort of Sharpie you want. I'm going to use black today. So I set out by measuring. I'm going to go 7 this way. So I get my ruler. I need approximately 1.7 inches for each box. So I'm just going to start marking. And then I'm going to move to the middle. I'm going to make a second set of pencil marks, little dashes, so that I can connect. And then I'm also going to move down to the bottom to make 3 sets of dashes to create a straight line. At this point, you can connect your lines with your Sharpie, or you can measure the other side of your paper. And for my week going down, each box needs to be approximately 2.4 inches. If it's easier for you, please consider having a 14 by 14 piece of paper or a 7 by 7 so that you can divide into 1 or 2 inch blocks. So when I have all of my lines, my dash lines, I'm going to take my Sharpie and I am going to lay my ruler down along my little dash marks. Hash marks, whatever you'd like to call them. Line them up so that they're fairly straight. Remember, if you're using a thick pointed Sharpie, you will have thicker lines. Just to pull back your ruler a tiny bit, just to compensate for that. So, just to pull back your ruler a tiny bit, just to compensate for that. So, we're going to make our grid lines for our calendar. If you were to be making a to-do list, you could measure out lines to write on if you're really adamant about nice straight lines, or you can just skip these steps all in together and just contact paper, cardboard, and your fancy paper. You may want to add some stickers to it, fancy it up a little bit, some little drawings, cute cutouts, pictures of your cats and dogs, or your parents. So we're just going to keep on creating our lines. You can also do this project if you have paint samples. If you have those from like the hardware store where the different colored palettes are on some lightweight cardstock. Please remember that you need to have 7 columns by 5 columns, so you will need 35 different squares. What's nice about those is that they're all the same size. They're already laid out in a grid. All you need to do is attach them to your lightweight cardboard and then put your contact paper on. So I have one set of lines already drawn on my paper. I'm going to line up my second set. And continue drawing my grid. Making sure I keep my fingers out of the way. All right, so we have our grids, our grid made. What we're going to do now, we're not going to put the dates on here because the dates, which day of the week they fall on, change per month. But what we're simply going to do in the top box is just write the day of the week. We're going to print that out. Remember, when we're doing this, we start with Sunday in our left-hand column and work our way over to the end of the week on Saturday. So once we have everything labeled as such, we can now take our paper and attach it to our recycled cardboard. Mine's not going to fit exactly, that's okay. I'm just going to try attaching it for some stability in the middle. The contact paper will also add some stability as well. You could actually skip the lightweight cardboard if you wanted to. You could put this in a dollar store frame without the glass in it. If you didn't have contact paper, you could put it in a dollar store frame and write on the glass as long as you use a dry erase marker. If you do write on it with Sharpies and you don't know how to get those off, Sharpies are deathly afraid of rubbing alcohol. There's a whole lesson we could teach on that. So you can get Sharpie marker off with rubbing alcohol fairly easily. So what we're going to do is just take our Scotch tape, the different pieces, tape our cardboard to our paper, and then we're starting our contact paper layer. Now contact paper is kind of neat. It has measurements all on the back so you can cut straight lines and know how big of a piece you're getting. It also is a roll, so if you do cut pieces, it might be good ahead of time to lay out your contact paper so that you take the fold out of it. Mine's been sitting under some coffee cups for a little bit, so we hope that this will work. If it doesn't, just give it a little reverse roll to make sure it lays a little bit flatter before we start our project. So what we're going to do is just peel the sticky front from the paper back, like so. I've cut mine to be a little bit bigger. I like to stand up so I can see what I'm doing, and you're just going to lay it over being very careful to center it as best as possible. It is quite sticky. As you can see, this isn't working out all that well. And very carefully and gently work out all of your wrinkles as you go, all of the air bubbles. Once you have the air bubbles out and you're satisfied, you can flip your paper over. Now, when you get to the front, let's make sure that there's no little eraser goobers on there or any other markings that you don't want. We'll grab our second set of contact paper, find an edge to peel. And then doing the best we can, we are going to not do what Janet's doing. We are going to seal the front of our day planner. Smoothing out the bubbles as we go. And there you have it. All I need to do are trim my edges, and I have my reusable dry erase day planner to help keep me organized. Have a great day, Shenango County 4-H.